So, and at that point, I get back on the phone with her. I told her, I think I told her something like, I just landed the whale. We're gonna be in there. We're gonna do it, and it's gonna be great. And it's gonna be huge. It's gonna be huge. Trust me. I'm gonna fly to Atlanta. I'm having my first business meeting. Now, I'm not her manager yet. Like at this point, like I'm just consulting with her. We hadn't signed the paperwork. We hadn't really established that relationship yet. We knew it was getting there. We knew that that's what we both wanted out of this, but I have to, continue to build a network. So, with that being said, I flew to Atlanta. I fly out there. I get to the W, and I remember right off the bat, my man, he hits me with the, why are you bringing beat CDs? Like, he hits me with the, why do you have like 8 beat CDs with you? And I'm thinking like, yeah, I'm going to pass out CDs. Like that's what I'm here for. And that's so regional, that's so local, that's so small time. And he took a little giggle out of it. We listened to the beat CDs. He analyzed it. He already heard the music. It was good. He already knew what the music was. But he goes, "You're not really gonna go up to this man and give him a beat CD, are you?" I'm thinking at that point like, nah, hell no, I'm not gonna do that shit. Like I know better. My artist told me to do that. I'm not gonna do it. It was my idea. So it was my idea to do that shit. But and I lied. I wanted to look good. I didn't want to look green. So we're sitting out there in front of the Justin's restaurant, and I see it happen, like in slow motion. The Phantom pulls around the corner, and it's a silver Phantom. It just pulls around the corner. Can't even hear it. We're all out there. We're 10 people out there waiting, waving the flag, waiting for the boss. And he pulls up. Guy comes around the car. His job is basically driving around and open the car. He's a chauffeur. Open the car door. He gets out. He's wearing a chocolate brown suit. He has his shades on. He has I want to say it was an iPhone in his hand. And for the first, I had met celebrities before. I had done business with them. I had talked to them. This is the first time in my life I was actually starstruck. Like starstruck. I didn't know what to say. I'm starstruck, and they just telling me, look, chalk it up. He's like, yo, I'm gonna go introduce you. He goes up to him. He goes like, look, he's like, Sean, this is the guy he was on the phone with a couple days ago. So he blows the glasses down, real condescending look. He's like, hey, what's up, man? Yeah, okay. It's nice to meet you, man. Nice to meet you. Keeps it moving. I'm thinking, this is going to get off to a good start. We sit at the dinner table, and he doesn't say anything for like 30 minutes. He's just sitting at the table, like laid back. He's not talking. And the first thing he actually says, he actually criticized what a man was ordering. Like, we all had to order our food, and I didn't want to order anything out of the ordinary. Like, I'm like, this guy's paying for it. This is his restaurant. I'm not going to order something extremely expensive. And nobody did, but this one guy, I'm not going to put his name out there, but this one guy ordered something, and that's for 30 minutes he doesn't talk, and then when the food gets there is when he starts to talk. And he just started chastising this individual for ordering the most expensive shit on the menu. And he was like, you know how much you got to pay for that? And that's when I realized, that's when it clicked in my head, that everything is about money with this man. Everything is about money with this guy. That's all he talks about. He told me, from there he just started talking. He wouldn't stop talking, which was pretty good because I soaked it all in. I promise you, I remember everything he said for 2.5 hours, especially the stuff pertaining to me directly. He was talking to me. He was telling me little things like he won't take a picture in front of a brand that doesn't sponsor him or he doesn't endorse. So if he's in a McDonald's, he won't take a picture because he's in McDonald's because McDonald's doesn't cut him a check. He was just telling me things of that nature. He was telling me all I sell in my restaurant is my liquor for the most part. And he started explaining in 97 how he made $47 million in music. And he realized he was never going to really make more than $47 million in music. Like that's not enough. But that's when it hit him that he needed to be an entrepreneur and move on beyond music. And that's when he said, I'm not going to sit up here and let Carl Kanai give me a check and Tommy Hilfiger give me a check for wearing their clothing line. I'm going to develop my own. I'm not going to sit up here and hold, a Courvoisier bottle after they put me through that bullshit they put me through when I can just start my own. I'm not going to sit up here and wear Giorgio Armani cologne when I can just make my own. Everything is owned. Everything is self-owned. So that's what I took from it. And I explain to artists all the time. I hear artists tell me all the time that they want to be Jay. They want to be Diddy. They want to be 50. They want to be, M and Wayne. They want to be these entrepreneurs right off the bat, and they don't know where it starts. This man told me it started with him making records. That's it. You can't come in there with that big vision. You have to have a smaller vision first and accomplish goals one goal at a time. One goal at a time. You can't get to 100 unless you go through the 99 steps first. So I took that in stride. I really listened. I understood it. I knew this was something that I had to apply back because I remember dating back to my first meeting with LaToya. She talked about all the things that she wanted to do with music, all the things she wanted to do with property, all the things she wanted to do in television, and it's all great, but it's just too much to handle at one particular moment. You have to take one step at a time, and as a good manager will tell you that that's their job. They can't sit up here and wear 50 million different hats. You have to know what you're doing. You have to take your time. So the funniest thing about the dinner, I would have to say, was the thing that stuck out the most that most people laugh about when I tell them the story is, at this point, man, he's maybe like a couple bottles in. He's a little gone at this point, and he's talking about his money. He's talking about his money all the time. I mean, I don't even think at the time he knew he was worth $550 million because he just kept saying for $400 million man. That's what he kept saying. So I don't even think at the time he really knew how much money he actually had. That's incredible to even say that about somebody. You don't know how much money they have. Yeah. So he's sitting around the table and he's like, look, everybody knows I'm a $400 million man. Everybody at the table knows I got money. But he's like, everybody sitting at this table has got money. So that's when I'm kind of like scooching in the chair a little bit, like, oh shit, I'm scooching down a little bit. So he's going around the table, he's going around, basically counterclockwise. So he's starting off on the other side, and he was like, Casey and JoJo were there. Y'all remember Casey and JoJo from the 90s? They had a big hit. They were a really relevant duo in the 90s. So they're sitting at the far end of the table. He's going down the table and around in a circle, and he was like, look, everybody know Casey and JoJo got money. Everybody know they hit. Everybody know they double platinum. They got about $1 million in the bank easy. So he's working his way around the table. He's like, this guy got money. He's like, this guy got money. He goes to my man, the guy that put me on, my man C. He's like, he goes to him. He was like, and remember, I'm sitting next to C. I'm sitting in between him and the main A&R. So I'm right there next to the man. And he sits there, and I'm going to turn the angle real quick. He was like, look. He's like, everybody knows C. And he stops. He stops, and he looks directly at me, and he just blinks. So he's like, yeah, that kid ain't got no money, but C got money. I was like, oh my God, man. So I slouched down in the chair more, and I hide my face, and I'm like, did this guy just say that? And he was like, yeah, he ain't got no money. He was like, he's the only one, he's the brokest guy at the table. He ain't got no money. I was like, ah, man. So I'm sitting there, I'm embarrassed. Everybody's laughing at me, man. I'm new. I'm from the outside. They're all from the inside. So I'm sitting there like, wow. And he's like, I mean, he must have went in for about 2 minutes about how I don't have any money. Like, he just started going, I can't say anything. This guy's got $550 million in his bank account, and I can't say anything about that. He's like, yeah, you ain't got no money. He's like, you ain't got no money. He just started, he's like, I hope you don't think you got no money. He just starts going in on me. He's like, you ain't got my money. I was like, nobody at the table has his money. But that's, that's the funny thing about the whole story right there is that he started carrying on. But he's a very intelligent man. I took that away. Later on, we went to a show and then showed my commitment. It was all in one day. I went back to the Atlanta airport. I flew back to Fayetteville. Got back on the horn with LaToya. It was like 1:30 in the morning. I told her about the whole day. One of the longest days of my life and one of the most rewarding days of my life to this day. I won't forget it. I promise. What I took the most was what her music, the moral is what her music got. I had been grinding for 3 years before that, and I didn't achieve a quarter of what I just did that day. It's just, it's mind-boggling to think what good music can do, how far it can travel. She's a very, very talented music producer, songwriter, singer. From there, her and I did some great things. We released an album, Back to Jupiter's. It's available on retailers, iTunes. We got physical units. But I suggest everybody out there really follow her on Twitter, at LaToya Rene. Go to her website, www.latoyarene.com. Again, that's latoyarene.com. Really good music. Follow her on Twitter, like her on her Facebook like page. You won't be disappointed. I don't stand behind anything that I don't believe in personally, and I really believe in this. I really believe in what we're doing, and it's just really good music. And at the end of the day, it's really good music. So fall behind that. I got a lot more stories to tell through video blogs. I'll be constantly updating them. Again, LaToyaRene.com. Follow her on Twitter. Like her Facebook page. Subscribe to her YouTube page also. It's going to be up and running real soon. And continue to support her music. Midnight Session is the single. We're going to drop the second single later on. But continue to support the music. Vision Radio, send in your request. We're getting a lot of spins now, so it's really, really good. And just through video blogs, I'll show you the progression of what we've been able to do. But I went from a meeting with a girl in a bookstore to basically 3.5 weeks later have a meeting with Diddy. And it was through her music. And that's how strong it was. That's how powerful it is. And when I did that, I realized it can just, there's no limit. There really is. There's no limit. So, again, thank you for listening. Again, LaToyaRene.com. Check out the blog. Follow me on Twitter, Ernesto Fernandez 3. And I appreciate it. Thank you.